Okay. I get it. Greetings, my comrades, and welcome back to Zanolith. Today, we'll be continuing the Let's Create a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet anime series. Because you guys made it abundantly clear, you guys want to see a part 2. I highly recommend checking out part 1 of this series, and I'll leave the link to the video in the description down below. Now, I'm going to be real with you guys for a second. I frankly do not have the time to do a full-on 20-episode series for this Paldea journey, so instead, I'm going to be creating a 4-episode series, each tackling a different aspect of this theoretical anime. The first episode tackled the beginning of the series, and this one will talk about Ash's team in this Scarlet and Violet anime series. It was hard to make a concrete team due to the Paldea region having a plethora of awesome Pokemon, but I'm happy to say I think I've created a great team for Ash if he were to traverse the Paldea region. With that being said, let's get started. First up, we have Pikachu, an obvious choice as this guy's been with Ash through thick and thin. Not only was he his first Pokemon, but also the Pokemon that won Ash the Pokemon World Coronation Series. Wherever Ash goes, Pikachu is sure to follow, and a Gen 9 anime with Ash as his protagonist wouldn't be the same without his iconic partner. Pikachu would serve a more mentor role in this series to his fellow teammates, especially Ash's Miraidon, due to them sharing the electric typing. And that leads into Ash's second Pokemon, Miraidon, who would serve as Ash's ace Pokemon throughout the series. Due to being weakened after an encounter with a mysterious Pokemon, Miraidon lost all of its innate abilities, and so it's up to Ash to raise the Pokemon from the ground up and make it reach its peak once more. Just like the games, Miraidon will regain some of its powers through fighting Titan Pokemon, but it will also serve as a fundamental part of Ash's team, helping take on gym leaders, Elite Four, and other opponents of Ash's. Just like Ash's goal, Miraidon is hoping to find what its treasure is. Despite losing all it once had, it wants to find something to latch onto, a person or thing that can help it bring itself back up. Miraidon will grow over the course of the series, and eventually become one of Ash's strongest Pokemon, and will play a fundamental role in the final arc of the series. Ash's third Pokemon is another familiar face, Lucario. Now the reason I've decided to include Lucario here is because I feel the Pokemon was wasted in Pokemon Journeys. Yes, it was clearly the ace Pokemon of the series and had decent development, but I feel like even after Mega Evolution, they could have done so much more with Lucario's character. By giving him another series to thrive in, it will not only allow Lucario to have potential future arcs, but also allow the Pokemon to take on a new role as a mentor. Just like Pikachu, I also think Ash created a bond with Lucario deeper than a lot of his other Pokemon, and so I feel like if he were to bring another Pokemon with him to Paldea besides Pikachu, it would be Lucario. Lucario represents Ash's strength during his previous adventures, and will be the Pokemon he tends to represent his World Monarch title with, alongside Pikachu. Throughout his time in Paldea, Lucario will learn to pass on his knowledge and experience to a newer generation, while still being reminded that he is just as important as he was back then. A tale of accepting the present. Ash's fourth Pokemon is Armorous. Now this might surprise people as Zanolith is clearly the more popular Pokemon, but in all honesty I just don't think it fits Ash. Armorous is a very cool Pokemon that I think works well as an Ashmon. It would start off as a rambunctious Charcadet, who Ash would catch early on. It has a spirit of fire and is constantly determined, but after losing to a certain trainer and his Zanolith, Charcadet would work tirelessly to become stronger, and with Ash's help would evolve into a formidable Pokemon. However, even after evolving, the Pokemon would struggle to control its powers, but with help from Rika of the Elite Four, Armorous is able to master its overwhelming power and become its greatest self. Truly a great asset to Ash's team. The fifth slot for this team goes to Palafin, one of my personal favorite Pokemon, and one I feel would mix perfectly with Ash. Ash would catch a Finizen and have a good relationship with it, but after evolving, Ash would be super confused until seeing its true power. After this point, Palafin would become an absolute powerhouse on Ash's team, and would allow for some interesting strategies in battle. The Pokemon's arc wouldn't be too deep, but it would be what people like to call the comic relief mon of the series, like Oshawott Rowlet. But don't let its goofy demeanor confuse you. This guy is gonna wreck his way through Ash's opponents, leaving nobody in their way. And finally, the 6th team member for Ash's Paldean team is Bex Caliber. I don't know, man, I've just loved this Pokemon since I saw it. And it was a blast to use on my own Paldean team. Because of this, I decided I wanted to give Ash one. While I don't think the Pokemon necessarily fits Ash to a T, I still think it's super badass and would be a cool mon for Ash to have. It would start off as a cowardly Frigibax, having to face its fears several times throughout the series. But with Ash's help, it would slowly get over this, and would become a strong and reliable team member. Bex Caliber would also have somewhat of a rivalry with Hassel's Bex Caliber, which would come to its climax with an epic Dragon versus Dragon clash. Overall, I think this team is awesome, as it's full of powerhouses, cool Pokemon, and excellent character arcs. Now, I teased some of the story in today's video, but I'll be saving most of that for part 3 of this series, where we tackle a bulk of the overarching plot. With that being said, this video is a wrap. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on all notifications so you can join me for my journey. With that being said, my name is Zanolith, and I will catch you guys next time.